Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Bill. And for the fans and media that are joined with us today at the Tommy Evans Lounge, welcome to Basketball Media Day, brought to you by the Wentz Financial Group as we get set for the 2013-14 season here at the University of Akron. We're going to start talking women's basketball first. I'd like to introduce head coach Jody Kest, senior forward Rachel Tecca, senior guard Hannah Luberg. Of course, Jody Kest in her 8th season here at the University of Akron with a record of 97-120, 22nd season as a head coach. Last year, the Zips with a school record, 23 wins, 23-10 overall, a program best, 12-4 in the Mid-American Conference. The team captured their first MAC East Division crown in program history. Akron won 9 out of their last 10 regular season games, earning a number 3 seed in the MAC tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, our head basketball coach, Jody Kest.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today, the media, sponsors, administration, as well as my coaching staff and other players. Yes, last year was a remarkable year. Kids worked extremely hard to get the 23 wins and to make it to the championship game of the MAC. But I'd really like to talk about this year's team, and this is a very special group. The 2 seniors next to me, I can't even believe that they're seniors already. Rachel being her 5th year, and Hannah and the rest of the seniors. I'm just so lucky to be part of their lives and to watch our seniors grow, just not on the basketball court, but as well as off the court. And I feel like I'm the luckiest coach because I feel like we have not just great players, but great people. We're expecting great things this year. We have 9 returning players. We have 4 new players, as well as a transfer, Tierney Dunnigan from North Carolina State. We feel like we don't have like goals per se, because we feel like if we don't reach that goal, then sometimes what do you have to shoot for? So for our kids, it's always been about each day, each practice, each game. We don't talk about numbers, we don't talk about wins, we don't talk about stats. We talk about us getting better every day, and we've said this every year. We want to get better at every practice, we want to get better every game. We want the non-conference schedule to get us ready for MAC play, and then MAC play to get us ready for the tournament. And I feel like we have a special team. They work as hard as any other program I've ever had, but I think that comes down to our leadership, our captains. They have made this year very easy for me because they're doing a lot of the teaching, they're doing a lot of the coaching. I was telling them today, if my coaching staff wasn't at practice today, I guarantee you that my seniors could run practice, and they probably would have a better practice than when the coaching staff is there, because they've been around, they know the system, they know the expectations, and they've done a great job, and we expect great things this year.
We're going to open up for questions for the media. I do have a question for Coach Kest to start with. Boy, the style of play you played last year, Coach, very exciting. A lot of points, a lot of three-point shooting. That was the first year you kind of incorporated that into your program. Is that going to continue with the team you have this year?
It was actually the second year. We put it in the year that Rachel got hurt, and actually flew out to Oregon and spent time with the head coach there, going over his system. And we really felt like Rachel's junior year that we were scoring 92 points, 93 points, 94. And then when she got hurt, we were very fortunate that we had put the system in, because we felt like it was still going to be very successful. And I think we ended up that year 7-9 in the conference. So we've stayed with it. It's a philosophy that we have now. We feel like we have the players in place. We feel now every year we can recruit players that fit in that style. And everybody likes it. The players like it. Fans love it. Average 75 points a game, 7th in the country last year. But you also have to have players. And having Casey, leading assist player in the country last year, to run the show, and we have some backup point guards that can also run it. Megan Brilla and Hannah Scipio, a freshman, they can run it. But you also have to have scorers. And here you have 2 of the best scorers in the league, who I feel should probably be first team all conference this year. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 16 points, 7 rebounds. So when you have players that can score both inside and outside, and you have one of the best point guards in the country in Casey, then it's a great style to play. Because at the end of the day, we want to put our kids in a situation where they're going to be successful on the court. And if I didn't feel like this system was going to make us successful, then I wouldn't run it. And I think we have proven in the last 2 years that it's a great system for us.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to open up the questions for the media first, and then the fans that are present today for Media Day. So if you have a question from the media, just raise your hand. We have a few people here with microphones. We'll make sure everybody hears the question. Do you have a question from the media? All the way in the back. Mr. Elton Alexander from the Plain Dealer.
Coach, are you guys have the same officiating issues, changes that the men have, and if so, how are you adjusting to them?
Yes, we do. We're definitely going to have to make some adjustments with that. The new rules now in place, officiating, is they want freedom of movement. And that's what we're going to hear all year, freedom of movement. They want more points being scored, even though that's not been a problem for our program. So early on, there's going to be a lot of whistles. Probably the games are going to go much longer. And so we've had to make adjustments in our practice, talking to our kids about playing, with their feet and not so much their hands, and not maybe being aggressive and putting in more zones this year to protect our players. Last year we only played 7 majority of the time. We hope this year we play more, and that will help us out having more depth. But it is adjustment that we're going to have to make. Plus there's also some new rule changes for the women. We now have a 10-second rule in the backcourt, which is a little bit different, closely guarded in the front court, has gone from 3 feet to 6 feet, and a couple other adjustments. So they want the game to be scored more. And if you don't make the adjustments, you're going to have a lot of kids in foul trouble. And I hope you guys will all be patient with us early on, because the games will last longer. The officials have been instructed to make the calls. You have what they call the, you can barely touch them just to get your distance, the stove touch. And after that, if you touch them again, it's a foul. But there could be some advantages, because if you saw us play last year, you saw they beat up Rachel. Every time they had a chance, when she made cuts, they were very physical with her. And I complained the whole year to the officials about how physical it was. So for us, that's going to help Rachel. As well as with Casey. So many times last year they were pushing Casey from sideline to sideline and no calls were being made. So I think that's going to help us. But I think all coaches need to make the adjustment. But please be patient with us, because early on it's going to be ugly. There are going to be a lot of fouls being called.
Yes, sir.
Rachel, I was just wondering if you can feel any difference in the knee from last year to this year. Is that what it is?
Yes, definitely. All summer I went to Akron Children's Hospital and did physical therapy 3 days a week, and I feel faster, healthier. I no longer have hamstring pain, which I was experiencing for 3 years now. So I really want to give a thanks to Dr. Congini and Courtney Meyer for their dedication and hard work this summer. They believed that physical therapy would be the answer for me, and when I really didn't, and it's really paid off, and I feel great.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks she's looked fantastic. She's getting herself in better shape. Last year, Rachel played about 25 minutes per game, and I think that she was the player of the year. 25 minutes, 18 points and 7 rebounds. The efficiency was just unbelievable, and so for us to be successful this year, we need her to step up her minutes and play more like 32, 33 minutes.
Yes. Question up in front.
Just to follow up on that, why didn't you think that physical therapy was the answer? And what did it do for your hamstrings or whatever that didn't?
It was definitely the answer for my ACL, but for a few years now I was experiencing hamstring burning and fatigue every time I would exert myself in physical activity. So that's why I could only play 20 minutes a game. It wasn't necessarily the ACL. So I've been dealing with this for so many years. I never thought physical therapy would help. I thought maybe treatment, ice, something like that. But it definitely, core stability and Pilates, a lot of hamstring work was definitely the answer. And I'm so happy. I feel so healthy.
Me too.
For Hannah and Rachel, you guys, with the first championship and the success comes a bigger mark on you guys back. For a program that hasn't had a lot of success, how do you guys deal with that? Because how a team deals with success can be kind of a good measure of where they're at in the program.
Well, last year getting to the MAC championship was definitely a big milestone for us, and it just gave us a lot of experience that I think we need for this year. We have a lot of seniors coming back, so we have great leadership, and I think just the experience that we got will really help us out this year in getting back there again.
Coach, you got a great group coming back, but excuse me, you're also excited about some of the new players in the program. Can you tell us about them and what your expectations are for them this year?
Well, with the new players, Hannah Scipio, we already talked about. She's a point guard, lefty from New Albany, very quick, very fast, distributes the ball. Like typical freshmen, I mean, it's going to take them all a while to understand our philosophy and the commitment that's needed in Division I, but so far she's done a great job in practice. Alex Ricketts is another lefty from Kennedy Christian, who's a scorer, who can shoot the three, who can also take the ball to the basket. And then Hannah Plyben from Orville, who played point guard in high school, but we feel like she's a better, off guard right now, and she's done a great job. Because, losing Taylor Rupert at the three, one of the best three-point shooters in the conference and definitely the best three-point shooter that Akron's ever had. We need somebody else in that slot. And so very, very happy with their progress so far. And Tierney Dunnigan is the redshirt freshman from North Carolina State. But I've been really pleased with our sophomores too, because they were very limited last year in their playing time, and we really need them to step up. Megan Barilla is a backup point guard who's a lot taller than Casey, so she gives us a couple different things a little bit better than Casey gives us, because she can see a lot more, being that she's 5'9", Casey's 5'3". Katie Noonan is very important for us this year. She is a 4-5 player who is very smart and is better with the high-low kind of offense, so we'll put some special plays in for her as well. And then the most impressive young lady for us so far is Anita Brown. Last year she played about 10 minutes a game, and she has worked extremely hard this year to get stronger physically and mentally. Her range has increased. She's our best on-ball defender. Just really, really pleased with her. And then Dee Gibson, we moved her from the guard position to the forward. We feel like that is a better position for her, as well as what was needed to help the program this year. So. And then Carrie Guyden, our 6'3" post player, a little bit different than what anyone else has in the league. Very big, very strong, very physical, and it's important that we try to get her in as many times as possible, because once she gets the ball inside, it's very hard to defend her, and if they put 2 or 3 players on her, we have phenomenal three-point shooters that could nail the free.
Any other questions from the media or the fans here today? Hannah, I wanted to hear from you because you're a veteran right now. Any expectations, team and personal-wise, this year that you've kind of written down or have talked with the coach about?
I mean, the ultimate goal is always MAC championship. That's what we're aiming for, and that's where we're excited to get back to. We want to get back to Cleveland, and we want to play in that MAC championship game. But like Coach said, we want to take each day, one day at a time, and just work hard every day, and we're excited, to start the season and build off of each game and every practice. So that's where we're looking right now.
But I did tell the players early on that there was probably a good chance, I would assume, that preseason maybe we would be picked first to win the Mackies. And, are they ready to accept that challenge? Because now, for past years, everybody, was after Bowling Green, and Bowling Green was always in first. And I think this year, based on what we did last year and who we have returning, that we'll probably pick first. And so are you willing to work harder? Because you're going to have to really bring your A game every practice and every game, because everyone will be coming after us because of the success that we have and because of the talent that we have. And they've accepted that challenge, and we've worked them hard every day in practice and made things difficult at times, because it's a little bit different when you're chasing people compared to being chased.
Okay, one more chance for questions, Bill.
Coach, the university put out the media release that the Senna King's going to miss this year. I guess you don't replace somebody like Senna, but what are your plans initially for trying to fill the role that she's played for your team the last couple of years?
Well, I don't think one player on our team can fill what Senna King's all about. She, since I've been here, is the hardest working player that I've ever had. She stayed every summer, worked on her game to make herself the player that she is today. She gave us more double-doubles than anybody last year, and probably would have been picked first team all-conference if she was ready to go. So we've talked about it with our team. We understand, it is what it is, and people have injuries. We had injuries a couple of years ago. We know Center will be back next year, so that just means other players have to step it up. And one player that I did fail to mention is Carly Young, and Carly Young will be starting at the 4 for us this year. And last year she wasn't as consistent as I would have liked, and this year she has to be. We need Carly Young to step up, as well as Dee Gibson, as well as Katie. And I'm expecting 3 or 4 players to give us what Cinna gave us, because I don't think she could. Cinna. And so this year she'll be great for the kids. She'll be a great student assistant for us. She will help all the young kids out. She's a great leader for us. I don't think she's here today. She's at the doctor's appointment right now. But that's basketball. You have injuries. It happened to us my first couple of years, and everybody just has to step up a little bit. And does it hurt us? Absolutely. But I think every school has injuries and have illness, and as everybody knows, last year was one of those special years where we're probably the only Division I school in the country that had no injuries last year, had no one miss a game because of any injuries or sickness, and started the same 5 all year. I mean, that's why last year was a very special year. Can we have that special year this year? Absolutely. But we're just not going to put that kind of pressure on our kids. We're just going to work hard every day, and if we do what we know we're capable of doing, at the end, good things will happen to our program.
Okay, one final request of anybody in the audience to ask questions. Harvey?
This is in the form of both a question and a statement. I'd like to express on behalf of the alumni at the University of Akron that you girls are major players in the MAC, and we appreciate that. You're not an also-ran, and you're not just happen to be on campus. You're the real deal, and I want you to know that we appreciate you.
And there's a guy that knows the real deal, one of our all-time great basketball players, Harvey Barber. Okay, any other questions from the fans here today? I have one final question for Coach, and that is maybe a quick recap of how you think the conference is going to be there, the strong teams that people have got to beat.
It's going to be as strong as ever. In the East, you have a couple of new coaching staffs. You have, Miami still has the Twins, so they're going to be very strong. Bowling Green had a couple of kids sit out last year. They'll be strong. Buffalo has all their returning players back. They'll be strong. My former assistant, Bob Bolden, is now at OU. I expect them to be stronger. It's going to be very competitive again. And then if you look at the West, you have Central Michigan, who has majority of their players back. Toledo has Ndola back at the point. Ball State, who only played 7 last year, has a full squad this year. Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan are going to be stronger this year, as well as NIU. So I expect it to be as strong as ever.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, once again, our thanks to head coach Jody Kess, senior forward Rachel Tekes, senior guard Hannah Luberg, ready for the 2013-14 season.